I would like to begin with a question to Radhika.
Okay.
Radhika, uh, recently I've been reading a lot of interviews about A Call to Spy. And in those interviews, you've been saying how you worked with director Lydia to bring out Noor on the screen. Because we don't really know much of her, even though she's a very important person in our history. You don't know what she sounded like, what she looked like, how she behaved. So you worked really hard with your director. Could you tell us more about how you worked together?
I mean, I think it was all four of us, trying, like, there's so many levels of, first of all, I think I started with research. I did not know much about her. So, there was a lot of material given to me to read.
Mhm.
So I read a lot. And then there were quite a lot of discussions with Sarah and Lydia and even Stana. And sort of, there was each other's different things that we had read about each other's characters. We brought everything together.
Mhm.
Now, she was born in Russia. She was British. She was raised in France. Her mother was American. Father was Indian Muslim. She was a pacifist. She did so. It was just too overwhelming to
Mhm.
understand and sort of come to what kind of accent she would have, for example. But then we decided that I think what is important is to connect with the audience rather than try to mimic
Replicate.
something. You know what I mean? To sort of, when we don't know certain things like how she spoke or what her body language used to be or what her mannerisms were. So we just decided to stay with my accent. For example, my accent is now literally a khichdi. It has like nothing. I mean, I'm in India, I sound Indian. When I'm in British, people say, "Why is she sounding like this?" I'm not. It's just that constantly you're hearing different things. It's just like a weird thing. It was a weird accent. I understand it. Luckily, I don't hear myself. Um, so so we just kept that, and we decided to focus more on just understanding the content, the intent, and the emotion behind every scene, and connect and be real and authentic, rather and understand the thought and her philosophy rather than her uh, body language or her accent.
Mhm.
So we started doing so. It was more, but based on the reading and understanding of that.
Sarah, as we know, not only are you the protagonist of the film, one of the protagonists, but also a writer and a co-producer. So I wanted to talk to you about how the film is set during the World War II, but it also echoes some of the things that we are dealing with in the current world, such as how people of Leon were being given false information and they were lapping it up. They did not really protest against it. And how Stana's character, Vega, she was fearing deportation. She was fighting for her citizenship rights. Was that a conscious decision to bring those ideas into the film?
Absolutely, 100%. So even the storyline of the citizenship papers wasn't in the original script. You know, scripts always change all the way through to post, but I put that in as things in the United States were shifting politically, and it felt like the concept of a woman who is scared for her life, even though she's fighting for a country because she doesn't have citizenship papers, is timely and relevant. I mean, at its core, this is a film about the power of the individual and how we are all in this together. And I think right now we're seeing, you know, with the pandemic, that the actions of an individual can affect the world. And these women understood that. They understood it was their duty to do something, to stand up for what they believed in. So yeah, I think it's important when you do a World War II film to bring it into the present, so that it becomes even more relevant to our experiences.
The first time we see you, Radhika, in the movie, someone calls out your name and you turn back and you say yes. And that is such an innocent moment. You seem like such an innocent, hopeful girl, the way you smile at simply someone calling out your name. But that is a very different image from what we have seen in movies about spies. Was there a lot of unlearning you had to do about how to play a spy and how to bring Noor as a person who can be someone who you knew from your own life?
I've never played a spy before, so there was no unlearning to do. And we were just playing different human beings. I mean, we weren't trying to. This film is not about dramatization of an idea of um, super women or whatever. It's a real life super women story. So just the more human, the more vulnerable, the more there is a connect. And these women were like they were just ordinary people with dreams and other aspirations, and they had no choice but to fight. So yeah, just that thought was the leading thought. In fact, I remember that shot when it was taken as well. Anyway, sorry.
Sarah, when I was watching the film, I was trying to really think back at what was the one film about a war in which we was given a female perspective. Because usually those are in a war film, females are usually the ones telling the men not to go, or giving them a thumbs up that go and be courageous and come back to me after all of this is over. So in such a situation where you're making a movie or you're writing a movie, you're acting in a movie about war, about women in war. So what are your reference points? Are you still trying to think of a film or a book or a material that you can come back to, find inspiration, and give your perspective to the war film?
That's a great question, and one I've actually never been asked. I think for me, I find references in films that connect to the human, whether it's male or female. So once I've created the script and the content of this female-driven spy film, it wasn't necessarily by needing to find references of something like that, because I don't think there are that, as you mentioned. I mean, there's Charlotte Gray, but that's a resistance film, and she goes off to find her boyfriend, essentially. It's a romance. It's not about the daily grind of survival that these women had to deal with. I mean, I have film references. Son of Saul is one of my favorites. It's an intimate World War II film where you're really with the lead character. But I choose films for references of how they effectively connect to the characters, because that's what this film has to do to be a success, instead of, say, male or female led auteurs, if that makes sense.
Radhika, I would like to ask my last question to you. In India, back home, when we think about war films, we are still talking about excessively nationalistic attitude in those films. And there are which often masks humane stories, or individuals' stories. Do you think we are still a long way from making a film like A Call to Spy back home in India? And have you seen some happy, good, positive changes in that regard?
I mean, even America does that. Everybody does that. I mean, there are very few films, even in America, like this film, or even in Europe. Europe, probably more films that are not so patriotic when it comes to war films, right? I think. But in India, yeah, I think it's a delicate subject, let's say. But yes, all of them are quite nationalistic. And we have a long way to go in that regard to look at war. How do we look at war on that front is very essential and very important. And I think it worries me sometimes, because literally we have cricket and cinema, two most influential forms, right? And if this is how we start looking at our neighboring countries and war, it's a bit concerning. I mean, I understand the situation at the moment. I understand everything, but it's a human. It's humans being sent there to shoot each other. What is war? It's something very important to think about.